Welcome to the Smith Corona 10-day touch typewriting course, and congratulations on owning a Smith Corona. If you follow instructions carefully, take time to correct any weaknesses which develop, and practice as suggested, you should soon be typing faster than most people write by hand. Additional speed and skill will, of course, come with practice. Have you studied the preliminary instructions and correct typing technique illustrations on page 1 of your typing textbook? Have you examined the keyboard and finger diagram on page 2 and identified the home keys? If not, stop the record now and do so before proceeding with this lesson. Now look at your typewriter keyboard. Locate the home keys A, S, D, F, and J, K, L, semicolon, on the second row above the space bar. Curve your fingers naturally and rest their tips lightly on the home keys as follows. Left-hand fingers, fourth or little finger on A, third or ring finger on S, second or middle finger on D, first or index finger on F. Right-hand fingers, fourth or little finger on semicolon, third or ring finger on L, second or middle finger on K, first or index finger on J. Your fingers will be in proper home key position if there are two uncovered keys, G and H, between your hands. Now drop your arms to the sides of your body. Place your fingers in home key position. In typing, the space bar is struck with the right thumb only. The left thumb is held loosely under the left palm. Place your fingers on the home keys and hold the left thumb under the left palm. Hold the right thumb about 1/2 inch above the center of the space bar. Keeping the other fingers on the home keys, strike the space bar with the right thumb each time I say space. Ready? Space. 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 To return the carriage for a new line of typing, keep the right hand fingers on the home keys and strike the carriage return lever firmly with the left hand, palm downward, fingers close together. Strike with a firm stroke and return the left hand quickly to the home keys. Ready? Hands on home keys. Left hand out, palm downward, return carriage. Left hand back on home keys. We will now type on the home keys. Keep your fingers on the home keys. Strike each key quickly as it is called and release it instantly. Keep your eyes on the typing chart in your textbook and call each letter as it is struck. Ready? Type. Left little finger, strike A. Left ring finger, strike S. Left middle finger, strike D. Left index finger, strike F. Right thumb, space. Right little finger, strike semicolon. Right ring finger, strike L. Right middle finger, strike K. Right index finger, strike J. Now let's practice the home keys. Ready? A, S, D, F. Space. Semicolon, L, K, J. Space. A, S, D, F. Space. Semicolon, L, K, J. Space. A, S, D, F. Space. Semicolon, L, K, J. Space. A, S, D, F. Space. Semicolon, L, K, J. Return carriage. A, S, D, F. Space. Semicolon, L, K, J. Space. A, S, D, F. Space. Semicolon, L, K, J. Space. A, S, D, F. space, semicolon, L, K, J, space, A, S, D, F, space, semicolon, L, K, J. Return carriage. Stop typing. Now go on to Record 2, Side 1 for the rest of your recorded first lesson. Now let's go on with the rest of Lesson 1. Look at your typewriting chart again. The G key is struck with the left index finger, the H key with the right index finger. We will now type on these keys, then on all the keys on the home row. Ready? Fingers on the home keys. Type each letter as I call it out. F, G, F, space. J, H, J, space. F, G, F, space. J, H, J, space. F, G, F, space. J, H, J, space. Return carriage. Now let's continue typing on all the home row keys. Ready? Type A, S, D, F, G, space. Semicolon, L, K, J, H, space. A, S, D, F, G, space. Semicolon, L, K, J, H, space. A, S, D, F, G, space. Semicolon, L, K, J, H. Return carriage. How is that? Are you relaxed? You should be sitting up straight, but without stiffness, and should feel comfortable. Don't ever let yourself become tense at the typewriter. Now let's type some more on the home row keys. Ready? Type F, 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 space. J, 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 space. F, 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 space. F, G, G, space. J, 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 space. J, H, H, space. D, 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 space. K, 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 space. S, 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 space. L, L, L. Return carriage. A, 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 space. Semicolon, 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 space. F, J, F, space. D, K, D, space. S, L, S, space. A, semicolon, A, space. F, G, F, space. J, H, J. Return carriage. Stop typing. Still relaxed? Take just a moment to wiggle your fingers and settle yourself in your chair. Sitting up straight? By now, if you're using a light snap on the keys, I'm sure you've noticed how nearly effortless it is to type on a Smith Corona Portable. Now again, place your fingers in position on the home keys. Look at the keyboard to make certain the fingers are on the proper home row keys. Eyes back to the typing chart in your textbook. Are you ready? Type. F, J, D, K, S, L, A, semicolon, space. F, G, J, H, D, K, S, L, A, semicolon, space. A, semicolon, S, L, D, K, F, J, G, H. Return carriage. Stop typing. You have now completed Lesson 1 of your Smith Corona 10-day touch typewriting course. If you kept up with me on the drill practice, you were typing at an approximate speed of 5 words per minute. Lesson 2 will be found on pages 3 and 4 of your textbook. It consists of an additional home row drill and word practice. If you would like additional voice practice before doing this, replay this record and side 1 of record 1. Good luck with Lesson 2. Return to record 3, side 1 for Lesson 3, covering the home row and third row keys. This is Lesson 3 of the Smith Corona 10-day touch typewriting course. First, turn to page 5 of your textbook and study the touch typewriting chart. On the row above the home row keys, locate the keys Q, W, E, R, T, and P, O, I, U, Y. Now look at your typewriter keyboard. Locate the keys Q, W, E, R, T, and P, O, I, U, Y on the keyboard. Curve your fingers naturally and rest them lightly on the home keys. When you're making any of the reaches for the keys on the third row, keep the remaining fingers resting lightly on the home keys. Strike the middle of the key with a quick, even stroke and return the finger immediately to the home key. Watch your fingers as you make the following reaches. Left hand, A finger up to Q and return to A. S finger up to W and return to S. D finger up to E and return to D. F finger up to R and return to F. F finger up to T and return to F. Right hand. Semicolon finger up to T and return to semicolon. L finger up to O and return to L. K finger up to I and return to K. J finger up to U and return to J. J finger up to Y and return to J. Now, with your fingers resting lightly on the home keys and your eyes on the touch typewriting chart, strike the Q key quickly with the A finger and return the finger to the home key. Now, strike W with the S finger, E with the D finger, and R with the F finger. Strike the space bar with the right thumb and release it instantly. Strike the P with the semicolon finger. Now strike O with the L finger, I with the K finger, and U with the J finger. The T key is directly to the right of the R key. Strike the T key with the F finger. The Y key is directly on the left of the U key. Strike the Y with the J finger. Now let's practice on the home row and third row. As I call each letter, or punctuation mark, strike the middle of the correct key with a quick, even stroke. Silently call each letter or punctuation mark as the key is struck. Fingers in position on the home keys. Ready? Type. F, T, F, space. F, T, F, space. J, Y, J, space. J, Y, J, R, F, space. F, R, F, space. J, U, J, space. J, U, J, space. D, E, D, space. D, E, D, space. K, I, K, space. K, I, K, space. S, W, S, space. S, W, return carriage. A, Q, A, space. A, Q, A, space. Semicolon, P, semicolon, space. Semicolon, P, semicolon, space. T, 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 space. T, 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 space. Y, 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 space. Y, 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 space. R, 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 space. R, 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 space. U, 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 space. U, 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 space. E, 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 space. E, 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 space. I, space. I, space. Return carriage. W, 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 space. W, 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 space. O, 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 space. O, 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 space. Q, 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 space. P, 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 space. P, 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 space. Return carriage. Stop typing. Now go on to Record 4, Side 1, for the rest of recorded Lesson 3. On this side of Record 4, we shall finish up recorded Lesson 3. Let's type some other combinations of home row and third row keys. Fingers in position on the home keys. Look at the keyboard to make certain the fingers are on the proper home keys. Be sure your fingers are curved and resting lightly on the keys. Keep your eyes on the touch typewriting chart on page 5 of your textbook. How's your posture? Are your feet flat on the floor? Ready? Type. F, T, H, F, space. J, Y, G, H, space. F, R, H, F, space. J, U G J space D E H D space K I G K space S W H S space L O G L space A Q H A space semicolon P G semicolon return carriage F J T Y G space F J R U H space D K E I G space S L W O H space A semicolon Q P G return carriage F T J Y F R J U D E space K I S W L O A Q semicolon P space F T J Y F R J U D E space K I S W L O A Q semicolon P return carriage. Stop typing. Are you relaxed? You should be, you know. Typing on a Smith Corona portable typewriter requires less effort than almost anything else you'll do all day. Now let's try some word practice using the home row and third row keys. I will give you the letters of each word. Fingers on the home key position. Ready? Type. F U R space F I T space F E W space F E E space F A T space J U S T space J A D E space D A Y space D I D space D E A L return carriage K I D space K E P T space K E E P space K I N D space S H E space S I R space S A L E space S E L L space. L-E-T, space. L-O-T, space. Return carriage, stop typing. You have now completed Lesson 3 of your Smith Corona 10-day touch typewriting course, and I'm sure you're finding it easier to type on the Smith Corona portable typewriter than you would ever have believed possible. Lesson 4 will be found on pages 6 and 7 of your textbook. It consists of additional letter and word practice. If you would like additional voice practice before going on, replay this record and side 1 of record 3. Your next recorded instruction will be Lesson 5, side 1 of record 5, covering the home row, third row, and bottom row keys. You are now ready for Lesson 5 of the Smith Corona 10-day touch typewriting course. First, turn to page 8 of your textbook. Look at the touch typewriting chart and locate the keys Z, X, C, V, B, and slant, period, comma, M, N on the bottom row. Now look at your typewriter keyboard. Locate the keys Z, X, C, V, B, and slant, period, comma, M, N on the bottom row keys. Curve your fingers naturally and rest them lightly on the home keys. When you're making any one of the reaches for keys on the bottom or third rows, keep the remaining fingers resting lightly on the home keys. Strike the middle of the key with a quick, even stroke and return the finger immediately to its home key. Study your fingers as you make the following reaches. Left hand, A finger down to Z and return to A. S finger down to X and return to S. D finger down to C and return to D. F finger down to V and return to F. Right hand, semicolon finger down to slant and return to semicolon. L finger down to period and return to L. K finger down to comma and return to K. J finger down to M and return to J. J finger down to N and return to J. With your fingers resting lightly on the home keys and your eyes on the touch typewriting chart, strike the Z key quickly with the A finger and return the finger to the home key. Now strike the X with the S finger, C with the D finger, and V with the F finger. Strike the space bar with the right thumb. Strike slant with the semicolon finger. Now strike period with the L finger, comma with the K finger, and M with the J finger. To the right of the V key. Strike the B key with the F finger. The N key is directly to the right of the M key. Strike the N key with the J finger. Now let's practice on the home row, bottom row, and third row. As I call each letter or punctuation mark, strike the middle of the correct key with a quick, even stroke. Silently call each letter or punctuation mark as the key is struck. Fingers in position on the home keys. Ready? Type. F, B, F, space. F, B, F, space. J, N, J, space. J, N, J, space. F, V, F, space. F, V, F, space. J, M, J, space. J, M, J, space. D, C, D, space. D, C, D, space. K, comma, K, space. K, comma, K, space. S, X, S, space. S, X, S, space. L, period, L, space. L, period, L, space. Return carriage. A, Z, A, space. A, Z, A, space. Semicolon, slant, semicolon, space. Semicolon, slant, semicolon, space. B, 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 space. B, 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 space. N, 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 space. N, 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 space. V, 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 space. V, 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 space. M, 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 space. M, 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 space. C, 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 space. C, 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 space. Comma, 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 space. Comma, 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 space. X, 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 space. X, 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 space. Period, 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 space. Period, 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 space. Z, 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 space. Z, 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 space. Slant, 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 space. Slant, 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 space. Return carriage. Stop typing. Now go on to Record 1, Side 2, for the rest of recorded Lesson 5. On this side of Record 5, we shall finish up recorded Lesson 5. Are you relaxed and comfortable? For this is the secret of effortless typing. Be comfortably relaxed and use a light snap on the keys. Now here are some other letter combinations. Fingers in position on the home keys. Look at the keyboard to make certain your fingers are on the proper home keys. Eyes back to the touch typewriting chart. Ready? Type. F, B, H, F, space. J, N, G, J, space. F, V, H, F, space. J, M, G, J, space. D, C, H, D, space. K, comma, G, K, space. S, X, H, S, space. L, period, G, L, space. A, Z, H, A, space, semicolon, slant, G, semicolon, space. Return carriage. F, B, J, N, G, space. F, V, J, M, H, space. D, C, K, comma, G, space. S, X, L, period, H, space. A, Z, semicolon, L, G, return carriage. F, B, F, T, space. J, N, J, Y, space. F, V, F, R, space. J, M, J, U, space. D, C, D, E, space. K, comma, K, I, space. S, X, S, W, space. L, period, L, O, space. A, Z, A, Q, space. Semicolon, slant, semicolon, P. Return carriage. Now for some word practice using the keys of all three rows. I will call the letters of each word. Ready? Type. F, U, N, space. F, O, R, M, space. F, I, N, E, space. J, O, B, space. J, A, C, K, space. J, E, A, N, S, space. J, I, B, E, space. D, O, W, N, space. D, O, N, E, return carriage. D, I, V, E, space. K, I, N, D, space. K, N, O, W, space. S, I, X, space. S, E, N, D, space. S, I, Z, E, space. S, O, O, N, space. L, A, N, D, space. L, I, N, E. Return carriage, stop typing. You have now mastered the first three rows of keys, including all of the alphabet keys. You can now type any word that you can spell. The next lesson, Lesson 6, will be found on pages 9 and 10 of your textbook. It consists of additional letter practice and word practice. Your next recorded instruction will be Lesson 7 on Side 2 of Record 2, covering the home row, third row, bottom row, and numeral keys. You are now in the home stretch of the Smith Corona 10-day touch typewriting course. This is Lesson 7. When you complete this record, you will have mastered all 4 rows of your typewriter keyboard. First, turn to page 11 of your textbook and look at the touch typewriting chart. Locate the keys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hyphen, 0, 9, 8, 7, and 6. If the extreme left key on the top row of your Smith Corona keyboard is not the numeral 1, then strike the small letter L for the numeral 1. Now look at your typewriter keyboard. Locate the keys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hyphen, 0, 9, 8, 7, and 6. Curve your fingers naturally and rest them lightly on the home keys. Look at the keyboard of your typewriter to make certain your fingers are on the proper home keys. When you are making any one of the reaches for keys on the top, bottom, or third rows, keep the remaining fingers resting lightly on the home keys. Strike the middle of the key with a quick, even stroke and return the finger immediately to its home key. Study your fingers as you make the following reaches. Left hand, A finger to Q, to 1 and return to A. S finger to W, to 2 and return to S. D finger to E, to 3 and return to D. F finger to R, to 4 and return to F. F finger to R, to 5 and return to F. Right hand, semicolon finger to P, to hyphen and return to semicolon. Semicolon finger to P, to 0 and return to semicolon. L finger to O and 9 and return to L. K finger to I, to 8 and return to K. J finger to U, to 7 and return to J. J finger to U, to 6 and return to J. With your fingers resting lightly on the home keys and with your eyes on the touch typewriting chart, strike the 1 key quickly with the A finger and return the finger to the home key. Or strike the small letter L for the numeral 1. Now strike 2 with the S finger, 3 with the D finger, and 4 with the F finger. Strike the space bar. Strike hyphen with the semicolon finger. Now strike 0 with the P finger, 9 with the L finger, 8 with the K finger, and 7 with the J finger. The 5 key is directly to the right of the 4 key. Strike the 5 key with the F finger. The 6 key is directly to the left of the 7 key. Strike the 6 key with the J finger. Now some practice using all 4 rows of keys. Silently call each letter, numeral, or punctuation mark as the key is struck. Fingers in position on the home keys. Look at the keyboard to make certain the fingers are on the proper keys. Eyes back to the touch typewriting chart. Ready? Type. F, R, 5, F, space. J, U, 6, J, space. F, R, 4, F, space. J, U, 7, J, space. D, E, 3, D, space. K, I, 8, K, space. S, W, 2, S, space. L, O, 9, L, space. A, Q, 1, A, space. Semicolon, P, 0, semicolon, space. Semicolon, P, hyphen, semicolon, space. Semicolon, P, hyphen, semicolon. Return carriage, stop typing. Now go on to side 2 of record 3 for the rest of recorded lesson 7. On this side of record 3, we shall finish up recorded lesson 7. Let's continue our practice. Ready? Type. F, 5, F, space. J, 6, J, space. F, 4, F, space. J, 7, J, space. D, 3, D, space. K, 8, K, space. S, 2, S, space. L, 9, L, space. A, 1, A, space. Semicolon, O, semicolon, space. Semicolon, hyphen, semicolon. Return carriage. F, 5, J, 6, space. F, 4, J, 7, space. D, 3, K, 8, space. S, 2, L, 9, space. A, 1, semicolon, hyphen. Return carriage, stop typing. Now let's try some drill practice on numerals only. Fingers in position on home keys. Look at the keyboard to make certain the proper fingers are on the proper home keys. Eyes back to the touch typewriting chart. 1, space. 0, space. 2, space. 9, space. 3, space. 8, space. 4, space. 7, space. 5, space. 6, space. 1, space. 0, space. 2, space. 9, space. 3, space. 8, space. 4, space. 7, space. 5, space. 6. Return carriage. 1, 0, space. 2, 9, space. 3, 8, space. 4, 7, space. 5, 6, space. 1, 0, space. 2, 9, space. 3, 8, space. 4, 7, space. 5, 6, space. 1, 0, 1, space. 2, 9, 2, space. 3, 8, 3, space. 4, 7, 4, space. 5, 6, 5. Return carriage. Stop typing. You have now used all 4 rows of keys on your typewriter keyboard. The next lesson, Lesson 8, will be found on pages 12 and 13 of your textbook. It consists of additional practice on all 4 rows of keys. If you would like additional voice practice before going on, replay this record and side 2 of record 2. Your next recorded instruction will be Lesson 9 on side 2 of record 4, covering the use of the Shift key. This is Lesson 9, the final recorded lesson of the Smith-Corona 10-day touch typewriting course. In this lesson, you will learn to make capitals, special characters, and punctuation marks. First, turn to page 14 of your textbook. Look at the touch typewriting chart and locate the left Shift key just to the left of the Z key, and the right Shift key located to the right of the slant key. Capital letters are made by holding down a Shift key with either the right or left little finger and then striking the desired letter key. Be sure the Shift key is held down before you strike the desired letter. Let's try the capital letter A. With your fingers resting lightly on the home keys and your eyes on the touch typewriting chart, hold the right Shift key down with your right little finger and strike the A key with your left little finger. Release the Shift key and space. The other capital letters on the left side of the keyboard are also made by holding the right Shift key with the right little finger and striking the desired letters with the correct finger of the left hand. Let's do some others. Ready? Type. Capital B, space. Capital C, space. Capital D, space. Capital E, space. Capital F, space. Capital G. Return carriage, stop typing. Now for some capital letters on the right side of the keyboard. With your fingers resting in home key positions, hold the left Shift key down with the left little finger and strike the H key. Release the Shift key and space. Let's do the other capitals. Capital I, space. Capital J, space. Capital K, space. Capital L, space. Capital M, space. Capital N, space. Return carriage. Capital O, space. Capital P, space. Capital Q, space. Capital R, space. Capital S, space. Capital T, space. Capital U, space. Capital V, space. Capital W, space. Capital X, space. Capital Y, space. Capital Z. Return carriage, stop typing. Now let's try some combinations of small and capital letters. Ready? Type. Small a, capital A, small d, capital D, space, small l, capital L, small j, capital J, space, small w, capital W, small r, capital R, space, small o, capital O, small I, capital I, space, small z, capital Z, small c, capital C, space, small m, capital M, small n, capital N, space, small g, capital G, small h, capital H, space, small v, capital V, small b, capital B, return carriage, stop typing. Let's take time out here to learn the use of the Shift Lock key. Looking at your textbook on page 14, find the Shift Lock key. It is just to the left of the A key. When full words or lines are to be written with capital letters, press down the Shift Lock key and strike the letters as usual. To return the typewriter to normal position, release the Shift Lock by striking the left Shift key. Let's try it now. Ready? Type. Shift Lock A, B, C, D, release, space. Shift Lock E, F, G, H, release, space. Shift Lock I, J, K, L, release, space. Shift Lock M, N, O, P, release, space. Shift Lock Q, R, S, T, U, release, space. Shift Lock V, X, Z, release, space, return carriage, stop typing. Now go on to side 2 of record 5 for the rest of recorded lesson 9. On this side of record 5, we shall finish recorded lesson 9. Looking at your textbook, find the special symbol keys and the punctuation mark keys. To make the symbols and punctuation marks, you must hold down the Shift key in the same manner as for a capital letter. Then locate the desired symbol or punctuation mark and strike with the proper finger. Release the Shift key and return your fingers to the home keys. Keep your eyes on the touch typewriting chart while we practice typing the symbols, releasing the Shift key after each symbol has been struck. Ready? Type. Exclamation mark. Space. Exclamation mark. Space. At sign. Space. At sign. Space. Number symbol. Space. Number symbol. Space. Dollar sign. Space. Dollar sign. space, percent sign, space, percent sign, space, cents sign, space, cents sign, space, ampersand, space, ampersand, space, asterisk, space, asterisk, space, left bracket, space, left bracket, space, right bracket, space, right bracket, space, underscore, space, underscore, space, plus sign, space, plus sign, space, 1/4, space, 1/4, space. Now for the punctuation marks. Strike the punctuation marks lightly. Colon, space, colon, space. Quotation marks, space. Quotation marks, space. Question mark, space. Question mark, space. Period, space. Period, space. Comma, space. Comma, space. Return carriage, stop typing. You have probably noticed that the period and comma can be made either with or without the use of the shift key. As far as spacing goes, space once after a comma or semicolon and after a period following an initial or abbreviation, but space twice after a period or other mark at the close of a sentence. Now let's try some combinations of symbols and punctuation marks. Ready? Type. Number symbol, $sign, asterisk, exclamation point, space. Cents sign, ampersand, question mark, quotation marks, space, colon, 1/4, plus sign, underscore, space, left bracket, right bracket, at sign, percent sign, space, 1/4, percent sign, cents sign, $sign, space. Number symbol, asterisk, plus sign, underscore, space, colon, quotation marks, exclamation point, question mark, space, at sign, ampersand, left bracket, right bracket, return carriage, stop typing. You have now used all the keys on your typewriter keyboard. One more lesson and you will be well on your way to becoming an accomplished typist. Your speed and accuracy will get better and better with practice, and you will be happy to know that no matter how fast a typist you become, your Smith Corona portable typewriter will keep up with you. Using proper rhythm, even world champion typists cannot jam the keys because your Smith Corona is the world's fastest portable typewriter. Lesson 10 will be found on pages 15 and 16 of your textbook. It consists of additional practice on all 4 rows of keys and shifting for capital letters, special symbols, and punctuation marks. If you would like additional voice practice before going on, replay this record and side 2 of record 4. Remember, be relaxed and comfortable. Fingers naturally curved and resting lightly on the home keys. A quick snap of the finger to strike a key, and with practice, that's all there is to it. Good luck to you. I hope you're enjoying your Smith Corona portable typewriter, because as time goes by, you'll find it will be one of the best of helps at home, in school, in business, all through your life.